Welcome, welcome, Luminary. Are you excited for the week and the month ahead? Well, happy Halloween wherever you are. Let's dive into the astrology of the November highlights and the week of October 31st through November 6th. Welcome to the Savvy Luminary podcast, Astrology for Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Leslie Tagorda, creator of the Astrobrand Method, business astrologer, brand designer, author, and Aquarius boss woman. I help visionary spiritual entrepreneurs and impact makers like you illuminate and amplify your unique star powers so you can be the luminary you were born to be. Well, Luminary, things are really building up as we are now approaching a new month, November. In the last episode, I was talking about our intuition because in November, your intuition is really not necessarily begging to be heard. That's not really the energy of your intuition, but your intuition is really calling out to you to use her as an agent for change in your business. With Halloween and Samhain and Day of the Dead, we are really honoring our ancestors. And part of our intuitive knowledge and the access to the wisdom through our intuition comes from our well ancestors. So, this is a perfect time to really not only uncover your intuition, which I hope that you've been really taking to heart since that last episode where I was talking about our intuition in our business. But now in November, you really get a chance to sharpen your intuition and use it as a strategic tool in your business. So, first in this episode, this is an action packed episode because I'm going to go through the astrology of October 31st to November 6th so you can plan your work week ahead. We have our new moon, we have a Venus moving into Capricorn, we have Mercury entering Scorpio. There's a few personal shifts going on. And then I'm going to share with you the highlights for November. So, let's dig in. So, our centering quote for this week comes from an author and an ophthalmologist, a professor of English literature that was born in the late 19th century, early 20th century, named Austin O'Malley. And part of his literature, he'd like to write aphorisms and kind of, I guess you would call it, these beginning of the self-help and positive mental attitude, all of those kinds of keys into happiness. But what he says is, when walking through the valley of shadows, remember a shadow is cast by a light. So, as we're moving into this last week of October and this beginning of November, as that veil between the present and the past coexist, remember that we need the shadows in order to see the beautiful light. We're fully in Scorpio season, and we have our new moon and Mercury entering Scorpio this week. Because of that, we are really focusing on the important relationships in our lives and also listening to what we really think about them. This requires digging into our shadows. This week is really about trusting and also about recognizing. That idea of Scorpio is really understanding her intuition and trusting that innate, authentic power so that we have that transparency of things being aligned. What we feel inside is really what's happening on the outside. And so, as we are playing with shadows and learning to trust ourselves and our intuition, this kind of work that we're doing, if you want to call it shadow work, the change as a result is not to be feared at this time. Look at this as an evolution into becoming your highest self. As the days wane and the night grows for us in the Northern Hemisphere, our shadows grow. Venus moves into Capricorn, showing us that we need to create relationships that commit and that we are sharing our responsibility to ourselves first. And then Mercury moves into Scorpio, really showing us for a little bit, reminding us all of the intuitive powers we cultivated last year in 2020, that we can no longer afford to not trust our intuition and to keep our intuition small, because we are bringing our intuition to the fore and allowing her to guide us with Scorpio on our side. So let's dig into the astrology of the week before we dive into November's highlights. So the first thing that happens this week is Mercury squares with Pluto. This happens in the wee morning on Tuesday, November 2nd at 2:39 a.m. Pacific, 5:39 a.m. Eastern, where again, your words have power to transform. Mercury and Pluto have been squaring off for quite some time because of that Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is kind of returning to that Libra of 24 degrees back and forth, back and forth. So this is that last time as Mercury is now moving full speed ahead. So you had a couple of times to really discover what words in your business have the power to activate change and make lasting transformation. So how will you use your words to create epic change? You now have your clear words, your empowering words to activate, take a stand, and integrate needed change. In your business, your call to action has been gaining momentum and clarity. Your words do not need to be aggressive to be powerful. They can be meant to be kind yet assertive. In your business, it's time to express your message of needed transformation. Change is not to be feared. Mercury at Libra of 24 degrees, squaring off Pluto at Capricorn 24 degrees. You know, this one spot, if you had been feeling that last full moon in Aries, and if you've been feeling that Pluto going direct a couple of weeks ago, you are going to feel the power of your words. On the next day, on Wednesday, Mercury Day, the 3rd, November 3rd, Mercury finally leaves that shadow zone from our last Mercury retrograde as it crosses the threshold of Libra of 25 degrees. Yay, we are officially done with Mercury retrograde so that we can act full speed on our powerful relationships that we rethought over the last few weeks. What powerful connections will you now activate? So we're done rethinking. It is time to take action. Now that Mercury has left its 2-week post-retrograde period, things are definitely clear. So ask yourself, what is your intuition asking from you, and who is calling you in to get your attention? Or who are you calling in? I know for me, my intuition and my clients guiding me with their intuition has really been calling amazing key players into my life. All of these ingredients are there for you, Luminary, to tap into. You're feeling good and powerful. You're thinking clearly with impact, and you're ready to trust yourself and your change-making co-creators. It is time to take action on changing the world through partnership. Mercury has now left the shadow zone, crossing again that threshold of Libra of 25 degrees, where it retraced back and forth 3 times. You have broken off what doesn't serve you in terms of relationships and reanalyzed and reorganized the powerful collaborations and customers you serve. You are now ready to go beyond calling in your people. So do that now. Balance your business out with the people who will activate things for you. You are poised to create change together. Partner up with your destiny. The next day on the 4th, on Thursday the 4th, we have a couple of things going on. First of all, we have our new moon in Scorpio, and shortly after our new moon in Scorpio, we have the sun opposite Uranus. I'm going to be doing a full episode on Wednesday, the day before the new moon, where I'll really dig into the elements of this new moon. For right now, I want you to mark it on your calendar to The new moon happens exactly on Thursday, November 4th at 2:15 p.m. Pacific, 5:15 p.m. Eastern at Scorpio of 12 degrees, where that day, please carve out some time after the exact meeting of the new moon in Scorpio, preferably about 35 minutes after that exact meeting, so that the moon is starting to gain light. Please carve out some time to create a ritual so that you can really call in the intuitive and authentic power you need in your business. Today, you're planting the seeds to trust your intuition and your authentic power in your business. Okay, I'm going to be putting a full Scorpio new moon and archetype episode that'll drop on Wednesday, the day before the new moon. So for now, just add that to your calendar. On the 5th, Friday, November 5th, on Venus's own day, Venus enters the sign of Capricorn. This happens at exactly 3:44 a.m. Pacific, 6:44 p.m. Eastern, where Venus in Capricorn, she loves to connect through getting projects done. What will you and your co-creators build? So you've called them in, and now you're ready to get to work with others that you've chosen on accomplishing shared goals. Starting now through March 7th, 2022, Venus, who's responsible for your power to unify and connect, has an extended stay in Capricorn thanks to a Venus retrograde at the end of the year. So Venus has an extended stay in Capricorn. It is divine timing that Venus has her extended stay because there is work to be done in collaboration. In October, you reestablish your powerful relationships, and now in November, you are committed to building your shared vision. Remember, Venus in your business is your power to connect to the right people and resources. So yes, we're talking money. We're talking the things that you need in order to build the resources, the people, and the resources you need to build. And when she's in Capricorn, the right people and resources are to be harnessed responsibly, sustainably, and for the long term. Okay, I'm going to say that again: responsibly, sustainably, and for the long term. And just a little note: if you're thinking about your personal relationships, here we go too. This is not the time to be looking for any flings. Over the next 4 months, you'll get to start, break, and start again stronger. This is the process. Imagine what you and your realigned soul co-creators will build. If you have your natal Venus in Capricorn, like me, you generally value and connect with others over shared goals and getting things done. Work and play are all the same thing to you. The best parties are those where you are working together on shared projects. Paint parties, social media batch writing parties. Connect with those who also want to build a better world. You're all in. If you have planets or angles in Capricorn, as Venus graces through, she will share her blessings with your natal energies now through March. Give thanks to fully enjoy. And then on Saturday, the 6th, November 6th, Mercury enters Scorpio. This happens at exactly 2:35 a.m. Pacific, 5:35 a.m. Eastern, where the theme with Mercury and Scorpio is perceive your intuition. Are you trusting and listening to your inner self? Now, for a quick, zippy 2.5 weeks, Mercury is stepping on the gas and speeding through the zodiac. Last year, in late September, all the way till the start of December of 2020, Mercury spent so much time in Scorpio with a retrograde cycle there that you really needed to tune in to fine-tune your intuition. This year, you're getting a reminder to trust your acquired spidey sense from last year. You know how things really mess up when you're not listening or understanding to your intuition. Did you listen to the last episode all about intuition in your business? Pay attention to how your intuition communicates to you. Maybe it's sounds, maybe it's pictures, maybe it's pure downloads. Get familiar with her language and learn to trust her so you can use this superpower in your business and save yourself from all of those red flags. We are on our first steps in the march to an intuition revolution. Take your intuition out of the closet, put it on, and don't look back. Okay, so remember, for all of the details for that new moon in Scorpio, I'll be dropping an entire episode about new moon in Scorpio with all of your activations, plus the Scorpio archetype on Wednesday. And I don't have time to have a new moon ceremony this year. I'm so sorry. I just love the community that when we come together and do our ceremonies in circle. But I'm still offering some mini readings. So if you feel like you want a quick mini reading from me, head on over to thesavvyluminary.com/new moon, and you can sign up there to get your mini reading where I'll look at your chart, see where in your business wants kind of a new intention, some clarity, and some fresh insight, and give you the things that are really being asked, what's really being called forth, and how you're meant to use your intuition in your business. Now, if you've already been on the fence with investing in a one-on-one Astro Brand session with me, this is a really, really good chance for you to get a taste of what it's like. And for those of you who've already are like fully committed, if you're really feeling called to harnessing your Scorpio intuition in your business, sign up for that mini reading. Again, thesavvyluminary.com/new moon. Okie dokie. Let's dive into the highlights for our November business Starcast. If you're already signed up for my newsletter, you will be getting a written version of this forecast dropped into your inbox. This is absolutely free. So if you'd like to sign up, please head on over to thesavvyluminary.com and sign up for my newsletter so you can get this monthly drop. Okay, let's talk about November. So November's business Starcast, the theme that I've given November is nourishing your intuitive strategies. Compared to the whirlwind of all of October's energies, the shifts of November's aren't as intense. Well, besides that Taurus full moon eclipse that's coming up, which will be shifting your money perspective over the next 6 months. Now, this doesn't mean that things will be easy breezy just because there aren't a lot of shifts. In fact, the beginning of November is marked with a collective need to get clear and trust yourself more deeply and to listen to your intuition energy. This energy is asking you to eliminate all the fluff from your life and business so you can gain stillness and reinvigorate what you already have. This stillness and reinvigoration is what you need as you face the future, because it's time to build a revolution in your business through your intuition. It's time to take your intuition out of the closet in your business. Remember that last episode that I just dropped? Take a listen about how to bring your intuition out of the closet. In November's business astrology, there are a few keys that are crucial for this intuitive revolution movement. Saturn, your boundaries, priorities, and desire to master, achieve, and accomplish. You need Saturn to create containers for what you want to say no to, so you can hear your inner voice and master what really matters most to your goals. Without boundaries and more saying no, how can you create momentum and have room to create expertise? So, got to bring in all that Saturn. Mars, your physical energy and drive to get things done. You need Mars to take action once you hear the call, move things forward, and have the activation power to reach your destination. So call in that Mars. And of course, you need to pay attention to your primary luminaries of your sun and moon. Remember, in your business, your sun shows you your strengths in what you do, that zone of genius and superpowers you are meant to radiate naturally. And your moon shows you what you need to feel, the emotional security that helps you with the doing. Because if you don't have your emotions dialed in, procrastination and fear can set in. In November, while there are no big astrological meetups, Mars, Saturn, the Sun, and the revolutionary awakener Uranus will all spend time in fixed signs, scoring off and opposing tremendous energies to move things through. While it may not feel comfortable exactly, you can expect these energies to urge you to make decisions, problem solve, and laser focus on your priorities. I know it sounds radical, but your intuition is going to play a huge role in keeping you on target. Really start validating and sharpening your ability to hear your intuition. The fixed signs, also known as the quadruplicity of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, are the problem solvers of the zodiac, and you need them to investigate, uncover truths, and ground into what you know and persevere, which is great for the follow-up act for letting your higher self lead. But not so great if you're craving variety and freedom. And I'm talking to you, mutable signs, Geminis, Virgos, Sagittariuses, and Pisces. Sometimes, if you're not careful, your fear will lead the way instead of your intuition. Do your best to learn and hear the difference between your emotionally charged fear and your neutral intuition. In November, all planets remain moving in the same direction all month, with only the outer planets of Uranus and Neptune currently in the retrograde direction. With Mercury retrograde behind us, Mercury, the planet that represents your understanding and perception, is now moving full speed ahead at its fastest motion its cycle. As it whizzes through two signs in November, you can count on Mercury's energy to help you think quickly on your feet. Our Mars and Saturn square off will build an energy at the very beginning of the month as Mars gets closer to the sun. All the while, Uranus and Taurus opposes and tugs at that Sun-Mars meetup. While this could bring an uncomfortable feeling of constantly being on the brink, if you can turn this friction into aligned action, there's no telling what you can accomplish in those few weeks. And for those mutable luminaries, this is good for you too, because this discomfort that you may feel is what you need to gather all of your big ideas. Lastly, we have a full moon lunar eclipse mid-month where anything can happen. After the dust settles in the aftermath of its transformative power, you will have the energies of pure truth and trust to draw from. For everyone overall, do not panic if this month feels heavy, because things will loosen up by the end of November, where we give into Sagittarius and giving thanks. So now that we've covered all of these interesting aspects, take the time to set an intention. How will you tune into your intuition to accomplish more in November? I am your intuition. Trust it will be amazing. So in November, we see Venus entering Capricorn for an extended stay starting on November 5th. We see Mercury entering Scorpio for just a couple of weeks starting on November 6th. The sun enters Sagittarius right before Thanksgiving in the States on November 21st. Mercury enters then Sagittarius on November 24th. We have our lunations, our new moon in Scorpio at 12 degrees on November 4th, and our full moon lunar eclipse at Taurus of 27 degrees on November 19th. Remember, I won't be offering a new moon in Scorpio ceremony this month, but if you are interested and really craving more insight into your natal chart and where you need to create a fresh intention, please head on over to thesavvyluminary.com/new moon and sign up for a mini new moon reading from me. All right. I know this was a lot. Hang on. It'll be fun. And make sure you're following me on social media and in my free Facebook group, The Savvy Luminary, as I'll be sharing more astrology insight and really putting a pulse and guiding you day to day. All right. Until then, luminaries, talk to you soon. If you love this podcast, please consider doing me a favor and heading over to Apple iTunes and leaving me a rating and review. Your rating and review helps this humble podcast get seen and found by more listeners like you. Please share the love.